Batman might be my favorite character ever. Not only just in terms of superhero, but in terms of fictional characters. In fact, I'm prepared to say it right now. Batman is indeed my favorite character in all of fiction. As a kid, I thought he was the coolest superhero, but not in the way that like most normal people think that Batman's cool. Like, they see the cape, they see the batarangs, they see the iconic cowl, they think of him being all growly and grumpy. But if you really get to know who the character is and why he is a lot of people's favorite superhero, then you can understand why, while I love them, the Dark Knight trilogy does not exactly capture the essence of Batman very well. Now, that is not to say that these are bad movies. In fact, even the one that I think is mid is still not a bad movie. However, we're not talking about The Dark Knight Rises today. We are talking about the start of this trilogy, Batman Begins. This is part 1 of 3 for the 300 subscriber special. This is talking about the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins came out in 2005 to a very, very resounding reception at the box office. People loved it. Now, before this, we had a not so well-received movie, Batman and Robin, where Batman had bat nipples, Mr. Freeze was dancing, there was the Bat credit card, there was Green Bane. It was a whole mess. And so people kind of looked at this movie, saw Batman again in an all-black cowl, growling at people and being cool, and the "swear to me," which is still really cool. And they see Christian Bale, who looks and acts like the perfect Bruce Wayne, ripped straight out of the comics, especially the Year One book. And they see a different take and a more fresher adaptation. They see Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon. They see Katie Holmes as a brand new character, Rachel Dawes. You see Liam Neeson at first as Ducard, but then, come on, he looks just like Ra's al Ghul. Come on. As a kid, the twist is cool, but watching it over and over and over and over and over again, you can see the twist coming. Come on. Everyone knows that Liam Neeson's Ducard is Ra's al Ghul. Everyone knows that. I think, though, what this movie did, which I had never seen before in a Batman movie, was for the first half of the entire story is literally done in the past. And we go from, like, past Bruce, then to even younger past Bruce, where he's a grown-up, and then he's not, and then there's scenes of him as a kid with his parents. So basically, what we got is we had an established relationship with him and his parents. We got to see him and his dad have a bond. Got to see Alfred, his relationship with Rachel. They were childhood friends. They were best friends. And so we get something that we don't get in Batman movies, really, is we get to see the relationship between Batman and his parents, which then makes their deaths even so much sadder. And we get to see brilliant acting from the actor for young Bruce and also from Michael Caine as Alfred after his parents are buried. And then we get to see who this broken man turned into and why he went from being in one of the flashback scenes an entitled grown-up douchebag to going and leaving for 7 years to go and hone himself and turn himself into a monster to fight crime against Gotham. And they streamline a lot of what he went through with his training. They kind of skipped over the whole like Japan part and just had to be there. Ra's al Ghul was Batman's teacher, which happens a couple of times, but he learned everything there, everything. Whereas in the comics, he was trained by multiple different people, different martial arts masters, different magicians, escape artists, stuff of that nature. And he just lived amongst nature, lived amongst different types of people, races, creeds, religions. He learned so much, and when he came home, the reason that he was and is an unstoppable force is because of what he had learned. So I just think that change, I get it. It can't be a 3-hour movie right off of the bat. However, you could show, instead of him living within the criminal element, which admittedly is cool, but it's not necessary. You should show him training in like Japan, or going to like, you know, Tibet or France, things like that. Places where in the comics he actually trained. Maybe hook him up with like Zatanna and like show how her father trained him to like escape from like traps and stuff like that. Like things like that. I understand why they had to just have it all be part of the League of Assassins. Oh no, wait, no, sorry. The League of Shadows. God, what a fucking name. Anyway, I see why they had to just do the League of Shadows and have Bruce learn everything there. But to me, it's kind of a little bit counterintuitive, but it's not a big thing. So then he comes home and he becomes Batman. And the thing that I've come to notice about all three of these movies, but it's not as noticeable in this one. It's more noticeable in The Dark Knight, and especially in The Dark Knight Rises. He kind of fights like Donkey Kong. Shout out to Cosmonaut Variety Hour, who said that once, but it's true. Like, if you watch Batman fight, he kind of fights like a giant monkey. Like, he's not really, like it's not fluid martial arts that he's doing. And he's not doing martial arts, he's just flailing his fists. So, I think that the thing is that while yes, the scenes themselves are cool, like that opening scene where he introduces himself at the docks to Falcone's men. When he introduces himself to Falcone's men, that scene is cool. It's, you know, it's badass. And they don't really show him fighting much. It's all about the fear of Batman, and he's this hulking monster who can move within like 0.2 seconds. And they show that's what I like. I think the most about this movie is like the fear of Batman. They really get that across very well. Why criminals fear him. I think that they do that really well. And in this movie, when he's here's the thing. When he's fighting other actual skilled martial artists, especially in this movie, he doesn't look like he's flailing. He looks like he's actually fighting martial artists. So, I think in this movie, him fighting like Donkey Kong actually kind of gets a pass, because it's not as noticeable in this movie. He's not flailing his arms, he's actually fighting. So that's kind of cool. I also think that Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon's a welcome treat. This was how I knew Gary Oldman growing up. It was this in the Harry Potter movies, where he played Sirius Black. I didn't know that much about Gary Oldman, nor did I know that much about Morgan Freeman before these movies. But I gotta tell you that I like both of them as Gordon and Lucius Fox, respectfully. And I think overall that Batman Begins I think not everybody, but there's a sect of the internet who has come to say that there's only one good Dark Knight movie, and it's The Dark Knight. That's what people say. And while The Dark Knight is my favorite, I'm not gonna sit here and say that The Dark Knight is the only good one. Batman Begins is pretty good. I can't lie about that. Batman Begins is solid. It's not perfect. It's not the perfect Batman movie. But I think I just gotta say that out of all three of these, it has Batman the most in it. And the story is solid. Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow does a really good job. This, as a kid, made me think that Scarecrow was interesting because, spoiler note, he's not really one of my favorite Batman villains. But Scarecrow in this movie, for the times that he's in it, is actually like terrifying, and they do a really good job showing it. And that last scene where he's on the horse, God, that scared me as a kid. So there's a lot of good to be had here. I think that the ending where Batman and Gordon are on the rooftop and Gordon says, "I never said thank you," and then Batman says, "And you'll never have to." Like that's cool. Like that's, it's Batman. So people that say that this movie's mid honestly do not know what they're talking about. It's a solid 8 out of 10. And I think that you really should give it a watch. It's a solid start to a trilogy that's not comic accurate, but one that's really solid. And since the video is over,
like, he's doing it without even trying. I tried. Like, I don't. She's gonna try to kill him. Come on. What? What is going on?
Over. I just want to say, if you guys like what you see here and you want to get this video a week early and other videos, currently watching through Evangelion, and we're watching through Red versus Blue, and I'm going to be playing some Assassin's Creed Mirage soon, go over to the Patreon, RG Energy. It's literally $1 a month. You get tens of hours of behind the scenes and different types of content that will not make it here because of copyright. So if you like what you see, consider subscribing to the Patreon. I love you guys. I'll see you guys for part 2 in a couple of weeks.